On a tax and spend.
The member for Melbourne.
The question is to the Prime Minister about yesterday's High Court decision. The government wants to send children to Nauru. Labor wants to send them to a third country. The Greens want to let them stay. Prime Minister, this is your first big moral test. Do you really believe that child abuse is somehow necessary to stop people dying at sea? Will you promise today that no children, including the 37 babies born here and the kids currently in Australian schools, will be deported to Nauru?
Member for Deakin will cease interjecting. The Prime Minister has the call.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and I thank the member for Melbourne for his question. Mr Speaker, the member for Melbourne's party from time to time tries to create the impression that it has a monopoly on empathy, a monopoly on morality. It does not. If the government were to follow the policies advocated by the Greens party in this regard, the consequence would not simply be tens of thousands of unauthorised arrivals coming to Australia. It would be thousands of deaths at sea. The policies that the honourable member's party was so supportive of under the previous Labor government resulted in precisely that, a complete collapse of security at the border. Deaths at sea, hundreds, well over 1,000 deaths at sea. They're the ones we know about. We don't know how many other people died. So the honourable member can share his empathy with us. He can share all of that. But he has to recognise that the approach that his party has advocated, which was in large part taken up by a previous Labor government, resulted in deaths at sea. Women and children, young men, families. That is the consequence of abandoning responsibility at the border. Now let me say to the honourable member, one child in detention is one child too many. Every single one of us is anguished by the prospect, by the reality of children in detention. Now the fact is that when our side, Coalition, lost office in 2007 and John Howard's Prime Ministership came to an end, there was not one single child in detention. Within 5 years—
The Prime Minister has the call. The Prime Minister just resume his seat. The member for Melbourne on a point of order.
Yes, on a point of order. There's 46 seconds left, and I asked
the member
Prime Minister where the kids are going to be taken.
The Prime Minister is completely in order. The member for Melbourne will resume his seat.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Within 5 years, the number had reached 2,000. Since coming back into office, the Coalition government has stopped the boats. It has reduced the number of children in detention to fewer than 100. Our goal is to reduce that to 0. But the key element in doing so is ensuring that people do not get on people smugglers' boats and put their lives at risk. The honourable member has got to recognise his responsibility to support our collective effort at a policy that has broad support across the community, keeping our borders secure and keeping women and children safe on the seas, ensuring they don't get on leaky boats and that they don't drown at sea. That's what we're achieving.